The following program does not offer personal medical advice. Please consult your doctor before using any treatment or product we cover. Welcome to Go to Health Media with your host, Jonathan Marks. We provide a welcoming environment where experts educate you on important health topics, answer your questions, and provide information from which you can benefit in consultation with your doctor. You can visit and subscribe to the show at gotohealthmedia.com. And now, here is Jonathan Marks. Hey everyone, this is Jonathan Marks with Go to Health Media, and welcome back to another show. We have an important topic today. Every half hour, I didn't know this, every half hour, an American child is diagnosed with cancer. While this is a terrifying disease, there is still plenty of hope. As treatments continue to advance, more than 85% of children diagnosed with cancer survive 5 years or more. This is a huge improvement from the mid-1970s when the 5-year survival rate was about 60%. Now, here's an amazing organization to help with all this. Since 1998, Hyundai Hope on Wheels, that's Hyundai the car company, they have a nonprofit called Hyundai Hope on Wheels, has contributed to research and program grant funding, bringing its total giving to $250 million. Amazing. With us today is John Guastaferro. He's the Executive Director of Hyundai Hope on Wheels. Working closely with the Board of Directors, John is focused on raising public awareness of pediatric cancer, increasing funding, and expanding Hope on Wheels' position as a thought leader with partners nationwide. John is also a TEDx speaker. Congratulations, John. That's great. And he's an award-winning brand strategist, certified fundraising executive, and leader on numerous philanthropic boards. We also have Emmy Cole. Welcome, Emmy. Emmy's an 11-year-old from Seattle, Washington. She battled high-risk neuroblastoma at just 2 years old, enduring 18 months of intense treatment at Seattle Children's Hospital. Against a 50% survival rate, Emmy emerged victorious, driven by her unwavering spirit. With a passion for school and musical theater, Emmy embodies resilience, reminding every child fighting a cancer that they are not alone in their journey to overcome. Welcome to the show, John and Emmy. How are you both today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Doing well, Jonathan. Thank you.
Great. So let me ask John, what is Hyundai Hope on Wheels?
First off, Jonathan, thank you for having us and that great introduction. Hyundai Hope on Wheels is a nonprofit foundation. We were founded in 1998, a small group of Hyundai dealers in New England. Today, we want to support this local children's hospital. And then the next year, more got involved, and eventually got to the point today where all 830 dealers across the nation are contributing to one cause, and that's childhood cancer. To add to that, Hyundai Motor America also gives a partial match to that. And to put it in perspective, all that funding put together enables us to, this year alone, give $26 million in grants across the nation to fund research and treatment and survivorship programs. And you mentioned earlier, but to date, that's a $250 million over our lifetime to this important cause.
And how does this get funded? Is it the individual Hyundai dealers who contribute? Is that what happens?
Well, every time a new Hyundai vehicle is sold, a portion of that goes into our foundation.
Okay.
So every time you see a Hyundai on the road, know that it's Hope on Wheels, right? So it's making a difference. And then Hyundai Motor America, from a corporate match, gives to that. And of course, we accept individual donations as well on HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org. So this is really it's more than a cause; it's a movement to us, and everyone is touched by cancer in one way or another, whether it be directly or they know somebody. And Hyundai Hope on Wheels has emerged as one of the leading charities in the nation doing this important work.
John, I know you said this started in New England. What was the founding story? Was there somebody in the family who had cancer? What's that story there?
It's before my time, obviously, but I think it was two local dealers, and it was a Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, New England. I think it might have been a contribution tied to a baseball game, like the number of home runs would raise the gift. It was something fun and meaningful at the same time. But it was great. Like I mentioned, more dealers just wanted to have that feel-good moment. And then we learned that when it comes to childhood cancer, there's such a need because from a federal level, the National Institute of Health's focus on cancer, only 4% of that goes to childhood cancer. And then they realize, wait, we're onto something here because we're filling a gap that's much needed. It's vastly underfunded. And to have a corporation like Hyundai play such a major role with such major funding and really driving the survival rate up each year, that all Hyundai dealers can take pride in. Honestly, Hyundai customers who buy Hyundais can also feel a part of this story as well.
Great. That's a wonderful story. Thanks for sharing. What changes have you seen in the fight against pediatric cancer, and why is research so crucial?
Sure. Yeah. Research drives new innovations and cures in many cases. Certainly, we want to help kids through treatment programs, which is what we also do. But we know that research is really the key that unlocks new innovations. And, take leukemia, for example, decades ago, that was a death sentence for many kids. And today it's one of the most curable forms of cancer. Talking to our researchers, they're on to other forms like brain tumor research. They develop new drug development, immunotherapies, and less invasive treatments for kids where, those are on their journey. It's not as hard on their bodies. And ultimately, we're helping to drive the survival rate up, which is around 85, 87%, as you mentioned. And
incredible.
But for that's not high enough. It's good progress for sure. But
Yes.
Everyone at Hyundai is committed, hopefully within our lifetime, that we can get to a cure for 100%. And that's really our commitment.
Right. And the next question, Emmy, is for you, but let me just tell people first, can people just come on your website and contribute, John? Is that the way it works as well?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
you can read
good.
stories, donate, everything. Yes.
Great. So let me just give you the website now, and we'll repeat this. It's HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org. HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org. And we will say this website again. So, Emmy, let me turn to you. Can you tell us about your battle against cancer and how it went and why it's so important for all of us to help? Tell me about that.
Yes, of course. When I was 2 years old, my mom and dad found a back pain so bad I could hardly walk. We rushed to
Wow.
Seattle Children's Hospital, where I was diagnosed with high-risk neuroblastoma and given only a 50% chance of surviving. I was treated for 18 months and spent 200 nights at Seattle Children's Hospital.
Wow.
Thanks to the amazing care of my doctors and nurses, I was finally able to beat cancer. And it is very important for anyone to help and contribute, because there are kids out there fighting for their lives. There are kids out there who are trying to help themselves. And, there are so many doctors and nurses who are also out there trying to cure those kids so they can have the best life that they can have after their treatment.
Great. And Emmy, when you were going through all these treatments and you were in the hospital for so long, how did you keep your spirits up? What did you do to keep yourself happy?
I was only 2 years old, so I don't
Oh,
remember as
right.
much.
Right.
But my spirits were kept up by my family. My family visited very, very often, and so I played with my brother and all the nurses and all my family, and that's what mostly kept my spirit up during the times when I was sick.
Good. That's great. And how do you look at life now, Emmy, that you've kind of been through this and finished your treatment successfully? How is life for you now? Do you feel like just a regular kid and having fun?
Definitely after treatment, I've had a lot of doctor's appointments, but I feel great. I feel like a normal kid with some medical problems, and that's okay because everybody's different.
That's great. I mean, we all have medical problems, but I'm so glad you've got a clean bill of health and you're doing great. You look beautiful.
Thank
You
you.
look like you're doing great.
Hyundai Hope On Wheels is so focused on helping kids across their journey, and if they're diagnosed, through treatment, and now on to survivorship. There's so many more kids like Emmy, thankfully, who are cancer-free. And we want to make sure they lead lives of opportunity and well-being. But there's other issues. We want to make sure their medical records stay with them. So now, like when Emmy's 20 years old, she goes for a physical, like that doctor should know her history. There's some side effects that are lingering for a lifetime as well. A list of things go on. So That's why I'm really proud to say that Hyundai Hope on Wheels this year, as part of our $26 million investment in research, about 5 million of that is going just to survivorship. And this is an area so important, but really doesn't get a lot of focus. So we convened leaders from across the nation focused on survivorship earlier this year and come up with priorities. And we have identified some new grantees for the year who are going to work together just focused on survivorship. And just the mere fact that we can talk about survivors and not just those who are in treatment is just a testament to the progress we're making.
Yeah, I'm really glad you said that, because I was going to ask how long you follow the patients here, how long you follow these kids. So you really do stay with them for quite a while, it sounds like.
That's our goal. I think, a few years ago, maybe survivorship wasn't part of our common vocabulary, but working with our board and our medical advisory committee, we've learned of the importance, and we put our money where our mouth is and said, look, we want to invest in this. So that is the goal, to stay on with their lifetime and make sure they have a network of peer support, engagement, and also a lot of the technology as well to stay with them.
And is there a way to apply for a grant or support if somebody listening knows of a child with cancer or a family with childhood cancer? How can they get some support?
There's many ways to get involved. From a grant standpoint, we primarily fund COG institutions, which is Children's Oncology Group. So we have a grant application that goes at the end of each year. And these are really complicated grants for researchers, right? They apply for something that they're working on, and they're maybe on the cusp of a new discovery, and they need funding to help them do that. And that's why the majority of our grants go to COG institutions who are focused on research. We also have impact awards that go to various hospitals across the nation who are doing other forms of support. For the general public, there aren't grants or support in that regard. Really, we would just want to engage everybody in the movement to help spread the word, to be advocates for the importance. And if they're so moved to make it a donation, we certainly welcome that as well. Because in addition to all the contributions from Hyundai and our dealers, every bit helps, and they can make a difference. And I encourage everyone to follow us on any social media. Our handle is at Hyundai Hope on Wheels. And then certainly, you mentioned the website earlier. That's HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org. And I just want to give the spelling too, just to make sure, because I know Hyundai may not be a common words. It's HYUNDAI, HopeOnWheels.org. And you can read Emmy's story. You could read Rainey's story, who's also our National Youth Ambassador, sharing their stories of bravery and courage with us, and learn ways to get involved.
Great. Thank you both for being with us today. I'm going to help you get the word out, because I really believe in what you're doing. It's very important. Now, I have a final question for Emmy. When you get your driver's license, are you going to drive a Hyundai car, do you think?
Yeah, whenever I get to, whenever I have the money and everything to buy a car, I'm hoping to get a Hyundai. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Great. It was great meeting both of you. You're doing wonderful work. Emmy, it's great that you're an ambassador. We've been talking with Emmy Cole. She's an 11-year-old from Seattle, Washington. She battled high-risk neuroblastoma from just 2 years old, and she was in the hospital for 18 months, but she's now completely cancer-free. Congratulations, Emmy. And now you're an ambassador for this program. And we're also talking with John Guastaferro, who's the executive director at Hyundai Hope on Wheels. Hope on Wheels, HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Okay, take care. Everybody, we'll be back with another show. And remember, go to health. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in this week to Go to Health Media. Be sure to join Jonathan Marks and another health expert next time. You can also catch the program on your favorite podcast platform. Until our next show, be sure to visit us on the web at gotohealthmedia.com and elevate your life.